I think it's not fair. Like,
No.
you can't hide the name of someone that committed a crime.
Yeah.
You need to know it. Like, you're not gonna ruin any community. You're just gonna like, you need to say it because
It's like it's not the community, it's like the person.
I'm here today in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I got my typical Nova Scotian fleece on, and I'm here to cover a trial of a Muslim taxi driver who's been charged with sexually assaulting a young woman in the back of his taxi cab. I was live tweeting that. You can see that at The Real Keean, but I'm here tonight in downtown Halifax to speak to the actual women of Halifax, the young girls in Halifax who need to take a cab home at night to get home from the bar, and I want to know what they think about what's happening in the back of Halifax taxi cabs. I want to know if they think that the police are doing just by these women, if they're covering up perhaps the people that are behind it due to being politically correct. I want to know what the women think, because the mainstream media is not asking them. The mainstream media never really cares what the everyday person has to go through when there's crime in their neighborhood. So the thing about Halifax is taxi cabs absolutely monopolize the transportation industry. Public transit closes at 12 p.m. at midnight. So anyone wanting to get home from the bar, young women, young men, they have to get into a taxi. There's, I think, 3 taxi cab companies here, so they got to pick one. But at the end of the day, it's kind of a game of Russian roulette or Halifax roulette, whether or not they're going to get raped. So it's terrible what's happening here. Like, look at this. This is all there is. This is the only choice that they have to get home from the bar at night. So let's go talk to some folks trying to get into these cabs. Now, can you tell me, have you heard of any stories of young women being assaulted in taxi cabs?
Yes. So we go to school in the States, actually, and that's a very common thing. A lot to do with Uber drivers and taxi cabs, both. And it's actually,
scary.
yeah. Very
I'm
scary.
just nervous to like get in a cab like by myself or like in an Uber by myself. I always take a friend, so
And you heard about the guy who got let off.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you think about him getting sort of let off and now he's being recharged? But do you think that women are seeing justice?
No, I don't. I really don't. I think that's a huge issue today in society, and I think that it just continues to be an issue, and it's just really sad.
yeah, honestly.
I feel bad for all girls, really.
Yeah. Would you be concerned getting in a cab yourself tonight?
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable. I'm not sure if I'm necessarily concerned specifically about cabs, because as a femme person, like, just being out on the street at nighttime specifically isn't like a fun feeling when you're by yourself. If I was with another person, like, I find that I'm way more comfortable if I'm with someone who's male presenting in a cab, because otherwise I feel like there is definitely the risk there.
Would you be concerned if the police force was not disclosing the information of people who were assaulting folks to perhaps, for the purpose of political correctness, putting political correctness ahead of the safety of the young women of Halifax? Would you be concerned by that?
Yes, definitely. As a woman, I would be definitely concerned.
There was a Muslim lobby group that wanted the police to not release as much information about assault cases because it profiled the community or made people feel uncomfortable, that kind of thing. Do you think maybe the police complying with that request is putting political correctness in 2019 ahead of the safety of young women like yourself?
Yeah, I do. I don't know.
Do you want as much information? Like, the question stems from the fact that you guys might want as much information as you can before you decide to get into a cab.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think it's not fair. Like,
No.
you can't hide the name of someone that committed a crime.
Yeah.
You need to know it. Like, you're not gonna ruin any community. You're just gonna like, you need to say it because
It's like it's not the community, it's like the person.
This is the first time hearing of that, but yeah, I would be concerned.
Do you think that maybe they're putting political correctness above the safety of the young women here?
Maybe, yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Do you think that that might be putting political correctness above the safety of the women of Halifax?
Well, I think that's the correct thing to do. I don't think the nationality has anything to do with the crime that's been committed. I don't think having that information would help anybody.
Are you concerned at all getting into a cab late at night, coming home from the bar? That tends to be when the assaults happen, is young women leaving the bars.
Typically, no. If I have my phone on me and if I'm of sound mind, which usually I am, so I don't really have an issue. But then again, I've never been in that situation before.
Would you be concerned yourself getting into a cab?
I don't think so, no.
And what about female friends, girlfriends, mothers, sisters? Would you be concerned at all letting them get into a cab late at night by themselves while they're intoxicated?
I think, well, the specific case that we're discussing is certainly incredibly concerning. I don't think overall I'd be particularly concerned with my wife or sister or etc. getting into a cab at night.
Would you be concerned getting into a cab tonight?
Yeah, because you don't trust anyone, especially if you don't go around and say the identity of these taxi drivers. You'd never know if the driver that it's driving you, it's gonna be one of those, like maybe just escaped and they still don't know about him, or he's just a normal taxi driver.
A good person.
Yeah,
you can generalize it.
So that's what the folks of Halifax think. The story that I came here originally to cover extended over the course of 2 days, so I won't be able to be here as it closes up, as the Crown delivers their final arguments. We heard the defense's arguments today, the Crown's going to do it tomorrow, and then the judge will release her decision in about a month, which I will probably come back to here because this is such a pressing case for the people of Halifax. There's a lot of folks that are being hurt, and there's a lot of folks that are worried about what's going on in the taxi cab industry here. So in the meantime, I think that the message is to the young girls of Halifax to be wary and be concerned and put your safety first, and ask the questions that maybe the media and the police aren't asking themselves. For the Rebel.media, I'm Keean Bexte. Thanks for watching my coverage here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. If you want to follow everything that I've been doing, go to www.rebelinvestigates.com. You can see everywhere I've been, all the stories I've been covering. The most interesting one lately was when I went to Alabama to cover a terrorist camp. We flew a drone over top of it to surveil it in case authorities bulldozed it like they did in a similar New Mexico compound. Go check it out at rebelinvestigates.com.